Hello, my name's Mel, welcome to my world, and for those of you that are new to my channel, it's all about self-built DIY camper vans and camper van related stuff. So if that's something that interests you, then please do consider subscribing to my channel. Now today's Waffle on a Wednesday, so this is where I answer your questions as best I possibly can. And if you've got any questions for me, then please do leave me in the comment section of this video. Right, let's go. Now, before I answer some of your questions, I'm happy to report that the old lady that fell over last week is absolutely fine. She tripped over the curb, fell on the grass, lucky enough, and as I rushed over to inquire about her welfare, she jumped up, looked at me like I was a weirdo, and poodled off along her way. So yeah, happy to report she was absolutely fine. So thank you to everyone that inquired about her welfare. Really appreciate it. Very nice of you. Right, so let's get into some questions, shall we? Now, Woo Mobile asks, or inquires, my only question is your favourite colour blue? Love your vids, Mel. Always cheery. All the best, Wendy. Whatever gave you the impression, Wendy, that my favourite colour was blue? But yeah, it just so happens it is. Love you too. Robert Pemberton asks, hi Mel, do you change your vans with the DVLA? I think what Robert means is, do I re-register my vans as camper vans with the DVLA, or as they like to call it, Motor Caravan? The answer to that is I've done it once. I've only ever done it once. I've built loads of camper vans and I've only ever re-registered one, and that was with the full transit, the silver full transit trend that I had. And the only reason I did that was because I got loads of people messaging me saying you'll never be able to register that van as a camper because it's only got one single gas ring. Because at the time I had one single gas ring and a sink combination unit, which is fine for me because all I want to do is make coffee in the morning, right? So because loads of people were criticising me and saying you can't register that as a camper van, I did. I registered it as a camper van, and the DVLA were quite happy to accept it as a camper van with one gas ring. But here's the thing, since then the rules have changed. They've made it a lot stricter and a lot more difficult to register your van as a motor caravan. So I'm going to step up to the challenge and try and register this van as a motor caravan. So stay tuned, we'll see what happens. Shady Rick has a request. He says, please stretch out the blooper time at the end of the videos, or maybe a monthly just bloopers type video, maybe. Well, Shady Rick, I've been putting bloopers at the end of my videos for quite a while now, but I normally put the bloopers after the outro music, and a lot of people don't see them. So there's only a few people that actually watch my videos to the end that get to see the bloopers. It's kind of like a little reward for you people that do watch my videos to the end. But now, because I've had quite a few comments about my bloopers, I've decided to cut out that outro music and just go straight to the bloopers, so you should be able to see more of them more often. But it does take up a lot of time to edit the mistakes out and put them in a separate file and then put them back at the end of the video. But comments like that make it all that extra work worthwhile, so thank you very much. Peter Anderson says, hey Mel, I've been following you for a while now. You and Greg Virgo inspired me to build my own camper, and it's nearly finished, so thank you. You're welcome. I'm putting tiles around the sink area. Is tile adhesive going to be okay? Absolutely. I used normal tile adhesive for my fireplace. In fact, I used epoxy tile adhesive. Again, my uncle recommended using that, and as you can see, it's still there. I have got a few little cracks appearing here and there, but that's probably because of the heat of my fire. But yeah, no problems at all. Epoxy tile adhesive though, it's stronger than the regular water-based stuff. So yeah, no problems whatsoever. Good luck with your build, and thank you for watching. Now Maggie and Mac pointed out that last week's Waffle on a Wednesday I kept flashing people the V sign when I was holding my phone. So yeah, apologies Maggie and Mac of Huddersfield. I do apologise for flashing you the V. Now Roger Starkey made a valid comment. He says, Mel, I hope you made the sink waste pipe long enough to form an S-bend to stop the smell from the grey tank. Well Roger, you're absolutely right, I didn't. I put a straight pipe straight from the sink into the grey water tank, and yes, now time has kind of passed, it has started to actually smell. Despite the tank being absolutely empty, it still smells. I'm really surprised. So learn from my mistake and make sure you put a water trap between your sink and your grey water tank. It's something I'm definitely going to address. I've got a little bit of pipe left over and I'm hoping I can form some kind of S-bend, or maybe just do like a loop and that will form a water trap. Yeah. If it gets much worse, I'm just going to put the plug in the plug hole. So thank you, Roger, and thank you to everyone else that commented on that. You're all absolutely right. It's definitely a good idea to have a water trap between your sink and your grey water tank. Grey Man Shed says, "Hi Mel, loving the videos. It's been great to watch the van progress from auction to how it is now. Have you considered making a lockdown camping on the drive video? Cheers, Ben." Well, Ben, thank you very much for sticking around that long. I really appreciate it. But no, I haven't really considered making a camping on the drive type video. But I will say it's always a good idea if you've just built a van, especially if it's your first van, to try it out on your driveway. If you're lucky enough to have a driveway, camp out outside your house before you actually use the van to iron out any problems. And I must say that I've slept in this van quite a few times now, and every time I sleep in the van on the driveway, there's always something I think, oh, I could do this, I could do that, or I could do with a charging station at the other end of the van. I've got charging ports here, and down there, but I've got no charging ports at the back of the van, which is something I'm going to address. So it's always a good idea to actually sleep in your van before you go off somewhere, just to iron out any issues that may occur. I mean, it's always a good idea to do that before you go somewhere, because it's easier to sort those issues out on your driveway than it is if you're out in the middle of the country in a campsite somewhere. So yeah, always use your van before you actually go. So it's always a good idea to camp on your drive. Darren Jones inquires, "Hey bud, are we going to see you travel in the van?" I jolly well hope so, Darren. As soon as it's safe to do so, I will be travelling in the van, and I will be taking my metal detectors with me, and I'll be going treasure hunting. So if that's something that interests you, then stick around. Philos R, "Hi Mel, did you know if you could store portable water in the old diesel heater tanks?" Well, if they're brand new, the diesel heater tanks, I'd imagine you could put water in them, but they're only 15 litres, and a 15 litre jerry can is like less than a tenner, so yeah, why would you want to, basically? I wouldn't. I'd use it as a waste tank, but not for fresh water. Dale Greenacre asks, "What did you use to stick your roof vent frame to the roof, as I'm going to do it your way by sticking the frame to the roof before cutting the hole?" Well, Dale, I simply used this pink grip. This pink grip stuff was recommended to me by my uncle, who is actually a builder, and I've used it ever since, and I've used it on a multitude of times, and yeah, it works really well. And for those of you that don't know what Dale's asking, I make a wooden frame and I glue it to the ceiling before cutting the roof vent hole in the roof. I'll put a link to that video up here. Actually, I made a couple of videos about that, so I'll create a playlist fitting a roof vent to the roof of your van, and I'll put a link to that playlist up here for any of you out there that are considering putting a roof vent in your van. I do recommend watching those videos, because I do it in quite a unique way. So thank you, Dale, for asking about that. And yeah, pink grip, great stuff. I even use this to do some work around my tiles as well, and the floor in my van, and it's never let me down yet. Now, Stephen Blackford asks a very good question. "How many man hours have you spent on the conversion mill?" Well, Stephen, I really don't know how many man hours I've spent on this van. Normally, when I convert a van in this style, and I've been doing this for quite a few years, it only takes about 2.5 to 3 months maximum to build out vans similar to this. But this van, because I've been filming it meticulously and making videos, hopefully to help other people convert vans similar to this as well, it's taken me 7 months, and that's 7 months solid. I've not done a day's work other than working on this van for 7 whole months. So yeah, it's taken a while, but only because I've been doing the filming. But I think it's time well invested, because like I say earlier, I do hope these videos help other people, and at the end of the day, I've ended up with a really nice van that I'm going to use for many years to come. So thanks for your question. Now, if you do have any other, if anybody else has any questions, then please feel free to ask some questions in the comment section below this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and if you are new to my channel, please do consider subscribing, and by subscribing to my channel you help me save the local wildlife. I've got 2 cats and they're both hungry. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ra for now. Now Woo Mobile asks, Woo Mobile, that grey man says, try saying that wrong, water from my grey tank, my sink.